Thanks for tuning in to Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. We're back live on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome again, Dean Pepicello. He is the political guru of the Joel Natale Show, Harbor Creek Township supervisor. Where were you when the Miracle on Ice hit in 1980?
I loved you talking about this in hour number one. Oh, man. I was glued. Watching. I was
Were you a kid, like 8, 9 years old?
18, 80, yeah. No. It's 13.
Okay.
Something like that. I'm old. I know it's hard to believe.
But were
I look so
were
young,
you skating back then? Were you playing?
No.
No, okay.
I play now, but that wasn't until an adult. It really wasn't a thing for us in high school, you know?
Yeah.
Back then. So, no, but I was a hockey guy, and I would, a kid, went to a lot of Blades games, sitting at the end back in the day. Was at that Russian game.
You went to the Russian game?
Yeah, that was 13, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were at every game. The place rocked.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they lost, 9-0?
Yeah, but we were at every game. It was, gosh, that was so much fun. Those days were, not that they're not fabulous now.
Right.
They are absolutely fabulous.
But the famous Blades played back then.
Yeah.
What? Sylvain Cote and Pierre. Pierre, what is it?
Pierre Legacy. Still in Erie.
Still around. Ron Hansis.
Moved now. But
but he was the coach of the Panthers at one point.
I used to keep every stat. Had all the. I think I might still have a lot of the programs. Yeah, it was.
Were they just monsters? The Russians, the Soviets.
Yeah, again,
they were big
and professionals. I mean, the team had been playing together for years for this sole purpose. You know, the Americans were no match, but over one 60-minute game, Joel, anything can happen. Right? That's a 7-game series. The Russians probably win it 4 games to 1, right, with the Americans. But it's not. It was a 1 game in 60 minutes. And
it was interesting. They were showing what Herb Brooks, they had all of his papers and scrapbooks, and he said that they had grown soft, that the Russians were soft. They didn't, they took it for granted, and that was going to be their Achilles heel for the Americans to just continue to pound on them.
It's such a great story. You talked about the movie Miracle, and the whole Herb Brooks story. He died in a car accident, by the way.
Is that okay? I did not know that.
Yeah, I went 20 years later or something, north to South Dakota.
2003 or something.
Yeah, in a car accident, which is a bummer because you'd love to have him now as we get to anniversaries and all this stuff.
Yes.
But what people don't remember about the Olympics, so everybody talks about beating the Russians, which obviously was phenomenal, and the time in the country and all that. I don't really remember as much of that being a kid. But what people don't remember is that was the semifinal game. As you point out, it wasn't the gold medal game. They had to beat Finland to still win gold. And as Herb Brooks, the speech that goes down in history is the one before the Russians, right? Mm-hmm. But he said one thing before the Finland game. He walked into the locker room and he said, if you lose this game, you will take it to your graves. And he walked back and he came back and he said, to your blanking graves.
Yeah, he said
what
an
he said.
Expletive. Yeah.
That was it. Like everybody thinks about the speech before the Russian game, but it wasn't over then. Like they still had to win gold. I mean, that was still the goal, and nobody knows about that part.
And I forgot that Finland had gone ahead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you watch this documentary? I mean, it's really well done.
Oh, it's so good.
And Jim Craig, who played for the Golden Blades.
Yep.
What a season maybe?
Yeah, it was one. Less than one.
Maybe less
right?
than one. Yeah.
Didn't he come eventually right from the Olympics? Not right from the Olympics, but it was the same year. Next year the proximity was close.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fairly close.
Unreal.
Such a cool story.
A bunch of those guys played in the NHL.
Sure. Some.
Mike Uzzeroni, what was it?
Yeah. But they didn't. Some, but as a general rule, there weren't NHL caliber players.
Right.
They weren't. They didn't all jump right to the NHL as much as they were heroes in this country.
Sure.
That story is so cool to have lived through that at any age.
And let's face it, the NHL's full of Canadians. Canadians play for the Canadian national team.
Correct.
Not for the USA.
Yeah, right. And the pros are going to the Olympics this year, and it's not quite the same, although I think there's a lot of buzz about it this year. But
it'll be cool.
Nothing. If we had lost that, if the USA had lost that, it would be a footnote, right? And if the Russians had won that game, it'd probably be nothing. Be like, we should have won that game. Right? The impact that it holds long-standing in the United States is far different than it would have. I'm sure Russia didn't mention it, obviously, the Soviet Union. But even if they had won that game, they wouldn't boast like we did. It was a game they should have won. Funny how the world changes.
There was a whole there was a whole it captured America because of what we were through. It's interesting how sometimes sports or a catalytic event, I mean, sports is not 9/11. 3,000 people didn't die.
Yeah.
But that was a moment where we were captured and had a unity of spirit. That's one of those things that we're really hurting for right now. Unity of spirit.
In the country?
Yeah.
You hear that so much. Everybody wants everything to calm down, settle down. People feel unsettled. I don't know if that's true. I think that's media driven. Honestly, if you're outside Chicago or Minneapolis right now, are you unsettled? Do you really feel that way?
Yeah.
Do you?
Living in it? Oh, outside of there?
Man, I don't feel unsettled.
No, I mean,
these are unsettled times. You hear all the time. I don't feel that way.
I think people can take advantage of getting their opinions out, their emotions out. There's different protests and there's different events. I was going to cover that big story about maybe building naval ships in Erie, and there was a protest about Kristi Noem in the front of the federal courthouse. Just 20-minute deal, playing a song. Having some signs, people exercising their First Amendment rights.
Sure.
I'm not, and it's probably cathartic for a lot of folks to say, hey, I just want to be a part of that.
But there were no issues other than they had their voices heard, right?
Yes, yeah.
They weren't being wound up by...
No.
I don't hear Josh Shapiro out there right now, honestly, as much as I disagree with him, saying, fight back, right? Resist, all these things. I'll get it. ICE isn't here, allegedly. I don't know, whatever. But you don't hear that.
We're starting to hear about rapid response networks.
Right.
Exactly.
Led by politicians, by the way, it looks like in Minnesota.
But, I mean, they're around here, too. They're in Crawford. I think they're in Erie County as well.
Probably led by, we'll see who it's led by. The story's out today in Minneapolis. Those rapid response things are being led by elected officials, it looks like. But you don't see that. You don't see that in 99% of the country, right? People are allowed to peacefully protest. They're allowed to be heard. They're allowed to do what they can to affect the outcome of elections. That's how you do it. I just think what's going on in Minneapolis is an absolute shame. And I think that, again, I will continue to say this for weeks, that it is the fault of elected officials in particular, and they're winding these people up. It is what they want. And I think these people are victims, literal victims. What a shame. Have we seen the video of this Petti character from 11 Days Before? Yeah. I wonder if the people who protested, was it last night? Which is fine. It's fine that they protest. I get it. But I wonder if they've even seen that video. You watch MSNBC, and it's like a whole different world from what I'm seeing on Fox or Newsmax. Right. Did they even show that video in the liberal media? Has the video of Petti from 11 days before the shooting been shown? Not saying it justifies anything, but it goes to the character of someone who clearly looked unhinged, right?
Well, what does it take for you to insert yourself in front of a fully armed federal law enforcement official? That's pretty scary stuff. I mean, you're putting your body in between a law enforcement official and whatever they were trying to do, I guess.
But you're
kind of scary.
But you're seeing more protests like in Erie all over the country. It is in very few areas, and I think that that's telling to how these people are being led. They're buying into it. I will continue to tell you, they think it's a game. This Petti character's kicking out taillights, right, challenging ICE officials, clearly unhinged. It doesn't warrant anything. I know where people will go with this argument. I don't mean that. It doesn't warrant what ultimately happened at the end of the day, but it does go to show character. And it seems to be limited to that area. I think these people are led.
There's something up with Minnesota. Yeah. I mean, it seems like for the last 5 years, there's been just bad stuff that has happened.
You know that is generally, when you look at the landmass, it is a very red state, Yeah, I know that the population is in the center, probably because it's so cold. Everybody, whatever they do, right? And I understand that it's blue electorally, but from a landmass standpoint, it's very red. I saw Jesse Ventura, was at the former governor last week, said, let's secede to Canada. Have at it. Bye-bye. See ya. like, if that's what they want to do, feel free. Like, I thought that was an interesting take because you're always hearing so much about Canada, the Trump argument, Canada becoming the 51st state and all that trolling. It was funny to hear him say the opposite, but.
Yeah. Let's get a phone call going here. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show.
Well, there's a half an hour I won't ever get back to waiting in the line at the car wash.
Oh.
Oh. I think something happened to it because nobody moved for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
So anyways,
I mean, what's the temperature out there,
No, my car says 27. I was going to go home and wash my cars tonight. And then I thought more about it. I thought, that might be the dumbest idea I've ever come up with. You get started and you realize that every 3 minutes you got to rinse the car off because the water is literally freezing.
Right, exactly. Yes, yeah.
Even if you leave it running. Boy, Dean hit on something there, and I couldn't agree more. As much as Minnesota is kind of the epicenter here right now, and Dean mentioned it's a red state, look at L.A. too. That's kind of an epicenter, and I just don't get it. I don't believe they've started on one house of the 7,000 that burned down to start rebuilding Pacific Palisades, and yet this is what the mayor says she wakes up thinking about every morning is ice. And I don't know, man. I see this going on, and I don't know if our country is flipped a corner, and we might be losing it pretty soon here because once you have, just little things, the Walmart on the west side, they don't want to tell you this, but, almost all the self-checkouts are out. At one time, that was about 90% self-checkouts. And then all of a sudden they realize, are people really stealing? Well, that's some of it. Some people just forget to ring stuff up. I get that. But the reality is they're not prosecuting. Everybody there is told you do not confront a shoplifter. That's it. So when you can't confront the people that are breaking the law, and if you're here illegally, I mean, I'm going to Italy this summer. I've got my passport ready. I'm not going to sneak in and demand benefits, then run down the street with my American flag and confront Italian law officers. I don't get how any of this is. It's like a fake world we live in when there's no accountability. And as soon as accountability happens, which is sometimes ugly, all right, then as Dean wants to, I'm quoting Dean a lot today. I'm really trying to get on his good side. As Dean mentioned, though, it's just if you watch the other networks, it's 24/7. Peretti was a saint, an ICU nurse, Okay, repeat after me. Your eyes are getting heavy. An ICU nurse. Mm-hmm. Your eyes are getting heavy. They murdered an ICU nurse, and that's what these people think. And again, also this just abject hatred of Donald Trump gets in the filter of everything. I mean, no matter what somebody does, it's Trump's fault. So, all right, guys.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Let's sneak another call in. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie. Hello.
Hey, Joel, Shaney, Dino.
Yes,
Dino,
sir.
slow it down a little bit. You're talking quicker than Mike Kelly today.
You've used that before. It's just one of his favorite lines.
Well, I mean, I'm being honest. But anyhow, I want to say that I found it absolutely disgusting that people in Erie, Pennsylvania would protest in support of this clown who was kicking the car of the Border Patrol, ICE, whoever it was, and we have people up here in Erie protesting in support of this man. I mean, what a crap hole. It really is. But, hey, Joe, I learned something every day listening to your last segment. I wasn't aware you wore Carhartt like Dan Laughlin.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's the warmest coat I've ever owned.
Yeah, you need that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joel, did Dino ever show you photos of when he was in Russia?
Oh, my God.
No, seriously. He rode horses shirtless with Putin. When he was God. I have to give Dino a hard time. He gets a break all week, so I got to give him a hard time on Mondays.
Yeah, Dino doesn't go shirtless anywhere.
Yeah, right.
I do want to be serious, Dino. I wish you could get over here and maybe train our street department on how to clean roads. I mean, I was over in Harbor Creek. Your stuff's all cleaned up over there, nice. You know, come on down here my street. It's a total mess.
Well, we don't have a lot of the burdens, I mean, we don't have the burdens of people parking on the street and narrow streets, and we honestly.
So, just one more question for Dino. When you first ran for supervisor over there before you became the swamp and didn't have anybody running against you, did you go to training in Harrisburg to learn how to be a supervisor like our mayor just did?
No.
Our mayor got some great advice from the mayor there from Minneapolis, that Fry guy.
Yeah.
I watched him. He gave some great, information on how to run a city into the ground, I might add. But anyhow, I got to go. I got to eat.
All right. Take it easy, man. See ya.
The answer is no. I already think I know everything about everything anyway, so why would I need training?
No, I mean,
Yes,
you're a member of the Township Supervisors organization.
Yeah,
right?
after being newly elected, sure.
Yeah.
And again, it's so new. It's so different. Government is so different than anything in the private sector.
Right.
It's tough to go from the private sector and you can have your ideas, but to understand that there's only so much you can do legally and can't do a lot that you can't do. So yeah, the training was fine.
I mean, where else do you have a scenario? I mean, again, you have the three guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say Township Supervisor is the best job in Pennsylvania. But, for city and county council, you've got the executive, and then you have the legislature. And that's an interesting go,
They're all awesome, if you ask me.
Yeah. Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. Dean Pepicello is with us here, our political guru. Okay, Dino, we're in another world of hurt when it comes to keeping the government running. We're under this partial government shutdown, and there's negotiations going on. They're trying to get in the next couple of weeks some kind of understanding, because Republicans need Democrats to vote for DHS funding, for Department of Homeland Security funding. And they want changes to be done to ICE and how ICE purports himself. Do you have any thoughts on that? I think to me, it looks like that the president and the Republicans are in a pickle, and I think the Democrats are going to get some relief. Things like masks off, and some of the things that they want. Now, whether you need a judicial warrant to arrest a an illegal alien. That we'll see if that holds up, because it'll basically stop all ICE enforcement altogether.
Yeah.
Which is not what I don't see that as being where the country is at, of stopping all of ICE. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't. I think they get a deal done. I don't think this is like the government shutdown before. I think Democrats felt that Republicans would be held responsible for it. And I think by and large, that's what happened. I think the sentiment of the folks, it wasn't a good thing for Republicans. I don't know if they feel that way now, and I think it's the same thing. I think most of the country is really good with a sealed border, allowing people in legally.
Yeah.
I think they're good with getting rid of criminals. I think most people, though, and I think you saw that, we talked about this last week, where Trump kind of backed off talking, had the conversation with Walz, right? And I think there's
sends Tom Holman to Minnesota,
who I thought handled himself really well. And it was fairly reasonable, speaking to average Americans who all go, I agree with you. Now, have their actions backed up those words? I don't know. Could have that discussion all day. But I think politically, they both feel the safer route. And you have to understand, it's political season now, right? Sure. Midterms are coming. And the primaries will be here before you know it. So it's political season. And I think most people are now trying to gauge voters. I think most voters saying what you just said, they want something in the middle. I think enough Democrats will come over. There are enough Democrats who are going to be in heated races who aren't going to say abolish ICE. They're not going to say that. Yeah. They're going to question their tactics. And I think the Republicans are looking at the same thing. There's a number of people in this country going, man, I don't like the way those two situations ended in Minneapolis, regardless of who's at fault and how they got there. I don't think they like that it happened at all. So I think there's middle political ground, and I think that's what you're seeing. I know a number of Democrats at least have said, as of yesterday, they were going to come over, and a number of Republicans who said, "Stick it, I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not."
Yeah, there's some hardliners in the House for sure.
Right.
It puts Speaker Johnson in a pickle as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Constantly in a pickle, given the
the
makeup of the House. But I think they find a way to get a deal. You're getting too close to midterms now for anybody to take the chance that they're going to get punished for another shutdown. That's my guess.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense to me. That there's a lot of losses that go with the shutdown. Again, you're calling these legislators to govern, and if they can't even do that's an issue for sure. Do you think that Minneapolis and Minnesota is coming off the front pages anytime soon?
I do. Again, I think
it's gonna kind of fade now.
I think it's a local issue that the media has made a national issue. That's why I said 99% of the country isn't. We're only talking about it because the media has put it in front of us.
But
over
two people
and over and over.
were killed.
No, I understand that, but the media put it in front of us long before these two particular episodes. And again, I think they're fueling this fire of rage. But I think your question was how much of a factor? I don't. Americans want reasonableness, and I think they'll get reasonableness in this decision. Everybody has to give a little. That's the way it's going to work. I suspect that's the way it plays out.
All right, we've got to go to our bottom of the hour break here. Dean Pepicello is with us. Hang with us here. We've got news ahead and more chatting about the politics of it all. And, of course, Governor Shapiro is right there in the middle of it, appearing on The View, appearing on 60 Minutes, touting the book and making his trajectory toward the presidency.
The band or trains
Live, local, and award-winning, it's the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State on 105.9 Talk Erie WZTE. Dean Pepicello is with us here. He's a political guru, and he is the Harbor Creek Township Supervisor. Now, Dino, we do not have a Senate race for the first time in a long time.
You're right.
There is no Senate race in these midterms here in 2026. So can we adopt a state and look at their race? What do you
cool.
say?
Cool.
Let's talk about Texas.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So first off, I want you to talk about this. It was a state Senate race? State Senate or state House?
State Senate.
That was
in
like
Texas.
a shocker because my understanding is that district in Texas went 17 points for Trump in 2024 and went to the Democrat in the last week.
In a special election Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
And I think it's been Republican since 1980. I could be wrong about that.
Holy moly. Wow.
But Fort Worth area, definitely conservative. Special election on Saturday goes to the Democrat. A couple of factors, mitigating factors potentially. Turnout was really, really low. I think like half of what it was in a presidential year, less than half, fairly low. Mm-hmm. The Republican candidate, a woman, had some sort of political issues at some point along the way that may have made her slightly unpopular.
She had a kind of a hard name to pronounce.
I know.
Too.
I still can't. Seeing it, I don't know what it is.
I mean, I don't know how you did it with Pepicello, you know.
It's eerie, man. It's eerie.
That's true.
Great story
Italiano.
about that. I'm running for a local office, Harbor Creek Township, right?
Yeah.
We're orange and black. Everybody's signs were orange and black. And it was Ian Murray. I will always be thankful to Ian Murray for this, who said, dude, play on your Italian heritage, make that thing red, white, and green. And that's what I did. My signs were red, white, and green.
Serious?
Like
wow.
almost not the Italian flag, but use those colors. He said, play on your heritage. It will absolutely.
And of course, Ian was the Democrat.
And the Democrat,
chairman.
Absolutely. But we played hockey together.
Yeah, sure.
It was awesome. You know what I mean?
That was really smart.
But I couldn't use, because my opponent had already had the colors, right? So I couldn't use those. And everybody's using red, white, and blue because that's the thing. He's like, don't worry about any of that. Play on your Italian heritage. This is Erie, Pennsylvania. It'll help you a little. I don't know if it helped or not.
That's amazing.
So I'll always do that. Regardless of, I could be done, I could do something else. I don't know what I'll do next, but if I do, I'll probably use the same thing.
So you're saying the Republican in the state Senate race in Texas had some issues, right?
I think. I mean, it looks that way.
But they're making it national. I mean, it's been on every political show.
Yeah.
Of saying, hey, this is another bellwether to what the midterms could look like. I mean, let's just face it. There's going to be a day of reckoning in November for Republicans. It's going to be hard to not have that be a shellacking.
History would tell you that. And to finish my analysis of it, so yes, there were some mitigating circumstances which might have made a difference, but that was a bad day for Republicans.
Yeah.
And so was the Virginia governorship. And so
New Jersey, yeah.
Right, and it's midterms, and 3 times in 150 years the party out of power, or in power, presidentially has held Congress in off-year elections. All of these things are lining up. I think that, seriously, I think Republicans are in huge trouble. And Ron DeSantis said it today. We got issues. Like, you better figure it out in a hurry because we are going to get smacked, is what he said. And I think they're headed in that direction. I do.
So let's pick up on this Senate race, the United States Senate race in Texas. John Cornyn holds the seat. He's running for re-election. I'm looking at something from the Texan saying that he has the most cash on hand. But you've got Jasmine Crockett, right? And you have James Tallarico. They're both running for the Democratic seat. Both for the Democrats, both Tallarico and Crockett are very attractive candidates. And then you have Ken Paxton, who's running for the primary. He's primarying Cornyn.
Well,
I don't see that happening.
I don't think Jasmine Crockett is an attractive candidate in Texas wide. I'll tell you that. I get it. Attractive in some
Houston,
areas.
yeah.
Right. Okay. I get it. And she has strengths as much as she drives many of us crazy. Here's the other thing that they're dealing with here is they redistrict in Texas, right? The Republicans are counting on Hispanics continuing to vote red, and they didn't trend in that direction Saturday. They don't seem to be trending that direction in polling, and that is a huge problem. So if Hispanics continue now to trend blue, then I think you're looking at an issue. But today, I don't care who comes off the Republican primary. If Jasmine Crockett is the nominee, no way the Democrats take that seat. I don't know the other candidate. I would assume he's probably somewhere more middle of the road, quote unquote. Then maybe they have a chance. But I don't care who comes off the Republican side. If
Tallarico is touting his Christian faith.
Yeah, see,
he is really. I mean, he's kind of like an Andy Bashir kind of fella. Andy Bashir, of course, from Kentucky.
If either Democrat wins Texas in the midterms, it will be a landslide.
I mean, this is not a Beto situation. Beto was not an attractive candidate. This Tallarico could be, and I think for Democrats, Crockett is a. I don't know if she can beat Cornyn or
I don't think so.
Paxton.
But
I don't think. I think Paxton's got too much baggage, though. Don't you think Texas is going to go stay Cornyn? Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really haven't looked at it yet. It hasn't. Yeah. I've cared. The Democratic side's more entertaining because everyone's
it sure is.
We're all ripping Jasmine Crockett. So, we'll see. Okay. We'll see where it plays out. But if Texas goes somehow, the Democrat wins that seat, it will tell you that it's a very bad night huge, across the country.
Let's talk about Pennsylvania and the governor's race. Mike Kelly came out for Stacey Garrity today.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they're all lining up very quickly, very early. There's already a preferred lieutenant governor that's running on the Republican side. And, of course, Josh Shapiro is everywhere, touting his book. He's on national television. Again, he's hoping for a huge win in November. I mean, but Stacey Garrity is probably the strongest Republican candidate. I'm trying to think. Corbett? I mean, I don't even know. How did Corbett win?
I don't remember his opponent. Seems like forever ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He only had one term, anyways, right?
Right.
So
I'm thinking Stacey gives Shapiro a bit of a run.
No doubt.
Especially in the Alabama T of Pennsylvania, right? The northern tier and the middle.
I think that I don't think Josh Shapiro's taking that race for granted. I know you're not insinuating it, but
and the other thing that's coming out, in the political whispering is that Josh is not as popular to other Democrats statewide, like that. There's tepid support for the governor.
Why?
Just he kind of rubs people the wrong way. I mean, again, that's the whispering that's going on right now.
No, I could see that. I mean, Kamala Harris didn't pick him because she thought he was measuring the drapes, essentially, right? Whatever.
Right.
And he would have been a far better choice than Tim Walz. My goodness.
Right.
But the relationship clearly wasn't there. I think
for some reason Kamala Harris thought she needed somebody that would troll Vance instead of like working on him via policy.
Josh Shapiro is not anyone's number two, right? I think that's in his makeup. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah.
He's not going to be a number two, even vice president.
Yeah.
I can't. I just don't see him ever wanting to do that. Who knows? He's got the whole book out. He can explain it all day, but he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. So would that rub people wrong even in your own party? Yes, probably. But I would assume you poll today, he still leads. Stacey Garrity's doing all she can. I thought it was funny troll today. She had a picture of Josh Shapiro at Punxsutawney. I don't think he was there this year.
No,
he was there last year.
Sent the DCED secretary,
right,
Seiger.
But he was there last year.
He was,
Dave McCormick was there today, by the way, I believe. And she's got this, whatever AI generated thing that says Groundhog saw 11 more months of tax increases than Josh Shapiro. So, I mean, they're trying to play that card. Got to raise some money and continue to campaign hard. I think it's still an uphill battle today. But Stacey Garrity is a tremendous candidate who's already won statewide office with a lot of votes. And if he continues to look like he's running for president, I'm not saying he is, but you're saying he's on these shows. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Right? Okay. Those are national shows.
Right.
Not necessarily related to Pennsylvania. If she can make the argument that he's using this to run for president, I think it's a pretty good argument for what it's worth.
I think they're gonna need to have major turnout. And what's unfortunate for the governor's race is that you don't have a U.S. Senate race. Again, the Senate races lead the excitement when it comes to a midterm.
Sure.
You go back to 2022.
Sure.
I mean, that was a nail biter, right? Between Fetterman and Oz.
It's Pennsylvania. Of course it is.
Yeah.
A straight race. And the governor's race will be like that too. Politics is so much about timing. And the timing, just being honest, the timing isn't very good for Republicans right now in competitive races.
Isn't.
They just aren't. That's just the reality.
Similar to what we were dealing with in 2025. Hi, we just got a couple minutes left. You're live on Talk Erie. Hello.
Hey, boys, what's up? Eugene.
Hey.
And I think Mr. Kern was right. And he's always, and not just because he's a voice of reason, but there's no accountability with the Democrats or the media. And like Dino was saying, they're showing you all what you want to hear so they get ratings, not the truth. That guy it was dumb what he did. He made himself a martyr, basically. It was a bad situation. Again, I said this before that, no, I don't want to see anybody get killed. But when the police or ICE are, executing on a mission and they put themselves in between, you're not protesting. You're getting involved in a federal, whatever they call it.
Yeah, a federal operation, yeah.
Right. So, hey, what about if Dean were to run for Kelly's spot when Kelly quits? I think
is that on the docket there, Dino?
Nothing's off the docket. Nothing, including.
I think Butler would vote for you.
Thanks,
Butler
man.
would.
I don't know. That's 4 years away. I am finishing my term. I'm doing that, and I've said when I was done with this, my job's gonna be breaking big rocks into little rocks all by myself because I don't know much more I can take.
But just think about it, Dean. You could be a multimillionaire in 10 years, not even.
That's not going to happen, man.
Free, man. It's all free. Just get it while it's getting.
That's not going to happen, man.
All right,
not going to happen.
I'm out of time. Thanks, man. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
All right, Pete.
Yeah.
It's nice something to say, though.
What do you become automatically a millionaire when you become a congressman?
I don't know how. How?
I mean,
you have the salary is the salary. You have to take Obamacare,
Yeah.
by the way. They all take Obamacare. There are different levels of it, but you do. That's it. Like, there's not.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't understand it.
You could run. You could run on the unlimited sand for Presque Isle. That seems to be like the big thing, right? Yeah, I'll never forget when Trump was talking about, I brought you the sand.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's a big deal to us, right?
It is.
Presque Isle's a big deal. You could argue it's
absolutely
a huge deal, obviously.
Oh, my gosh.
You could argue it's the most important thing we deal with here.
What are we doing about this partial government shutdown? Is this going to work itself out?
I just think politically it has to. Again, there's too much at stake if they don't. I think the Democrats clearly gambled that Republicans would get the worst of it a few months ago, and they did, I think. Politically.
Where's the next hot spot? I mean, they're already saying they're not going to Maine. Do you think that ICE comes off of the newspaper headlines?
Yeah, and the reason is political reasons. I said it last week. They're getting a lot of pushback from their own supporters, from their own voters, from their own residents, saying, "Man, it's too far. It's too far." We support closing the border. We support reasonableness. They call it. I mean, they're getting a lot of it. Yeah. They need every vote. You understand? The Republicans, in particular, need every vote they can get in the midterms if they have any chance at all, and they still might not. Then they can't punt their own people by doing these types of things. I'm sorry, they aren't polling well. I know that's an awful thing, right? But there's politics and everything that goes on in that decision making, and the politics don't look very good for them right now.
So you're gonna watch Melania in 3D or IMAX?
How is that even a movie? And I guess it did better than they thought.
No, well, yeah. I mean,
well, I don't know.
It's a documentary that did what 7-8 million in its first weekend. I mean, that doesn't happen.
I read the story on CNN, and it was the biggest flop since whatever. And I read the story on Fox and more. It was incredible how many people went to this thing.
I mean, Jeff Bezos spent $75 million between the rights and the marketing. It's a lot of money.
I don't have time for Melania Trump. She's fine. I don't.
Yeah.
What?
if I can say this, I wish, again, this is all about, can we get focused on the economy instead of what you're doing with Kennedy Center or what you're doing with Iran and what this. Can we get focused on real data-based outcomes? I think it sounds like the Fed chair pick is helping things.
Market's going through the roof. The
Yeah.
tariffs weren't nearly as bad as everybody predicted.
Yeah.
All the naysayers on tariffs, that stuff is all worked out, by the way. All worked out. Most of those countries have eaten the tariffs, and people don't admit that. But inflation is still stubborn. Gas
Yes.
prices are still too high. The price of everything is still too high. That's how people feel. That's just how they feel, right, wrong, or indifferent, right? It's not always fair to presidents or any elected official, but that's what you get saddled with, and I think it's still a problem.
All right. Do you believe in miracles?
Oh, yes. Al Michaels. I have chills. Chills.
Yeah.
Might be because I'm freezing.
You
but-
got to understand, anybody in broadcasting, Al Michaels is our hero for 45 years.
How old was he? 80? 80 plus? And still doing
Plus.
it?
He's amazing.
Incredible.
Thanks, Dino.
Sure.